let me know when we've got everybody in, right?
Hopefully that's not
Who's that?
somebody trying to make, hopefully not Susan.
Yeah.
For now is in and the waiting room is open.
So everybody's coming in?
Everybody's in.
Everybody's in?
Let's get started.
And then they're gonna come in after the fact too, right?
Yep.
So they'll just come in, all right? Are we ready? Welcome, everybody. Good afternoon to our quarterly virtual town hall session, coming to you from our new Vincentian Resource Room here at the Conference Support Center. I'm Jerry Veltri and Amanda Strickland. We're our co-host here today. And we have a great agenda. We have two of our leadership that are going to come speak to you today. We have two conferences that are doing some outstanding work, helping their local community with very innovative charitable services. And we also have an organization that some of our conferences have been partnering with, helping our families in need with what we consider professional counseling. So we're very happy to have you here with us for the next hour and a half. Again, the way the format works is we're going to have all the presentations. We ask that you hold off. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat room or wait until after we open up the lines, and we'd be happy to answer any of those questions regarding the agenda. And I do have to say this, may the 4th be with you for anybody who's a Star Wars fan, right? So Amanda, let's go ahead with the prayer. Okay. St. Vincent de Paul, your love of Christ and of the poor served as an inspiration to Blessed Frederick Ozanam and the founders of the society that bears your name. We humbly ask for your intercession, that the Holy Spirit will give us the grace to put into practice your virtues in our daily life. May we approach problems with simplicity, with our intention to focus on God. May we follow Jesus' example of humility by being meek and humble of heart. May we practice mortification to die to our desires so that we may better serve others. May we practice gentleness so that we may be warm and inviting to all those we encounter. May we have zeal in our ministry to serve God's people, even as we balance our other responsibilities. We ask you to take this prayer to our Lord Jesus Christ, and if it is in the Father's holy will, our petition be granted. Amen. All right, so our first up is Pat McNulty, our CEO. Pat would like to give us his message for this quarter. So Pat.
Well, thanks, Jerry. I really appreciate it. Thanks for setting the tone with that spiritual reflection. Just really want to take a few minutes for very, very high level and brief overview. We have a lot going on here and out in your world as well, and want to just touch base on a few things. First off, with the hopefully dissipation of COVID, we see a somewhat of a return to regular, normal, if there is such a thing, activity, and that hopefully is a good thing as we get back to the world of hopefully more person-to-person visits or face-to-face visits, really. So excited about that as spring is upon us, and hopefully we can get back to somewhat of a reset, if you will. But things are here, continue to move at a pretty good pace, positive pace. Our grant activity continues to be strong, and I know Jerry and his group continue to communicate with all of you as those opportunities really become available for certain geographies and certain conferences. We hope to be able to share that news with you, and then correspondingly have you work with your conferences to engage and be able to help more people. So really positive from that standpoint as we continue to get different groups that reach out to us with assistance and aid that we can then further push out to all of you. Just a couple of quick things. I know all of you probably read the society page and some of the other publications and communications that we push out, but we've had a couple of large neighborhood, what I would call neighborhood impact events in the last 60 days. One we did with Amazon, which was pretty exciting, down in the south end of town out of our Lakewood facility. We served over 200 people with approximately 4 or 5 large bags of food and necessities for them. And then more recently, a few weeks ago, we had a large event here in Chamblee on a Friday afternoon. We served over 250 people with a similar amount of food and essentials in conjunction with Kroger, who, as you know, Kroger was one of our main 4 sponsors, if you will, in our capital campaign efforts. So that was pretty fun and great to really be mixing it up, so to speak, with the neighborhood groups and making an impact there. So very quickly, I'm going to touch on a few functional areas. As you know, Jerry's group continues with some of their ongoing education. We're continuing to look at ways that we can enhance technology in terms of our delivery of information and other services, some upgrades in CMS, which all of you are aware of. But we also continue to explore other ways that we can get involved from a housing standpoint, as particularly in North Georgia, that continues to be the #1 need expressed is affordable housing, and the #1 challenge really for folks that we serve. Additionally, moving into a couple of other areas, we continue to make enhancements with our thrift stores. We're working to improve the appearance and layout, as well as our marketing around our thrift stores. As you recall, that was one of our 6 major initiatives from our strategic planning process, was to improve our thrift store operations and the overall financial contribution that they can make, which then goes back to our ability to service others. So we are continuing to work and make enhancements, and would encourage you to, if you get a chance to stop by and see some of our thrift stores. There have been improvements. We actually have a thrift store manager meeting upcoming middle of next month, where we continue to lay out some best practices and talk about some standardization, which tends to or which has proven to yield good results as we build efficiency and effectiveness with that part of our program. Lastly, I just want to touch on the fact that our development and finance groups both have experienced a fair amount of turnover really in the last 6 months, and we think that we have solidified most of those available openings with some high quality hires, and we're working to make sure that not only do we recruit better, but that we offer better solutions to retaining our folks during this challenging hiring economy that many of you have, I'm sure, read about. The last thing I just want to leave you with is that, and we're going to touch on this later in the call, but 2 very important events coming up. We because of COVID, we had to push one of the events back, so the events are probably a little closer together than we would normally prefer. But our Morning of Hope event is planned for the morning of August 25th. I would ask that you make sure you write that date down and hopefully participate in the event. We've got some good speakers lined up and hope that you will find it to be a morning of inspiration as we gather together for the first time in quite some time. And then lastly, on September 26th is our annual golf event, Tee Off for Hope. We also hope to have some, we plan to have some great other activities around that, and some good folks that are that have offered to help us with that event. So would ask that you make sure that you write down September 26th and again August 25th as a couple of very important events that we have as part of our overall yearly planning cycle. So that's it for me, Jerry. I know we got a lot more coming here, so I'm gonna let you pass it on from here.
Thanks, Pat. That's a great overview. And again, we got a lot going here out of our conference support center. I just want to add on the events, Pat, I'm sure, we're always looking for sponsorship. And so if you know of potential sponsors for our events, please let us know. We'd be happy to get you the materials for it. We're always looking for folks for both the Morning of Hope as well as the Tee Off for Hope, right, Pat? So,
Absolutely, yep. Plenty of opportunity to participate, not only by playing and attending, but certainly we could use the financial support as those are critical events to our overall budget for the year, for sure.
yeah, really looking forward to Morning for Hope for us to all get back together now that quote unquote, hopefully COVID is subsiding, right? So next on the agenda is our council president, Mike Meese, and Mike is going to give us an update on a couple of critical areas. So Mike, I think you're halfway through your first term, right? So
I am, yes.
spread your wisdom. So my good friend, Mike Meese. Mike, it's all yours.
Thanks, Jerry. Thanks, Pat. I'll be brief. I'm trying to conserve my my voice, but that's a good segue because Pat and Jerry were talking about events, and now that we're post-COVID, or at least post the worst of COVID, it's nice to be having these events again, and it's also nice to be having meetings of the society, which is what I want to talk about, to make sure everybody's aware of what opportunities there are for meetings beyond your local conferences. So you may be aware that we were hosting a Southeast region meeting last month here in Atlanta, which I'll talk about in a minute. And Pat and Denise Fisher and I were at the national mid-year meeting. And so the society is starting to get back to normal in terms of conducting meetings. And I wanted to sort of make everybody aware of what meeting opportunities there are, because they're open to all Vincentians. And hopefully everybody's sort of familiar with this structure of the society that you see in that image there. Obviously, you're familiar with the conferences and the meetings of the conferences. And hopefully, you know that each of your conferences rolls up into a district council. We have 9 of those in Georgia, and we have district council meetings quarterly with all the conference presidents and other conference officers. And I think, I don't want to speak for all the district presidents, but I think they're happy to have any Vincentians attend those meetings who are interested in learning what's happening within the district. At the Archdiocesan Council, which is this St. Vincent de Paul, Georgia, obviously we have regular quarterly board meetings, which are more business meetings, but we have these quarterly town halls for information exchanges, so you can learn what's happening in other conferences around the Archdiocese. You can hear about other programs like Peter's going to talk about with Holy Family. And so those are good information exchanges. You may notice that we haven't had a national assembly or a state assembly, the Spring to Life, which we usually have in April or May each year. We haven't had that for the last couple of years because of COVID, but I'm committed to getting back on track with that next spring, which is again a great opportunity to gather with Vincentians from around Georgia, exchange ideas, exchange information, fellowship, spirituality. But in addition to that, at the Georgia level, there's two other levels of the society in the United States. One is the regional level. We're in the Southeast region, obviously. John Barry, our former executive director, is our Southeast region vice president. And he held a meeting which we hosted here in Atlanta, thanks to Amanda's hard work, at the Atlanta Airport Hilton, which we had probably 85 or so Vincentians from around the Southeast, from Louisiana, Mississippi, Florida, Carolinas, Alabama, including probably 20 or 25 folks from Georgia. And I know all that information went out to everybody, and maybe it's the sort of thing that you see and think, well, it really isn't for me, or what can I benefit from that? But I would encourage you next year when it comes around to our Southeast region meeting, consider attending. We had lots of great workshops. In fact, Peter with Holy Family Counseling participated in a workshop on caseworker stress. We had a workshop on housing, workshop on how we can recruit leaders for conference and district positions, and just a lot of good discussion and fellowship with Vincentians from around the Southeast. And then at the national council level, there's two gatherings a year that are open to all Vincentians. There's a mid-year meeting, which is more of a business meeting, and has a lot of reports from the national committees, and also includes a spiritual retreat, which was led by Tim Williams, our national formation director. Includes a keynote speaker, who this year was Father Pat McDermott, who is the head of the Vincentian priestly order in the United States, the Congregation of the Mission. And he talked about, how his order needs to be renewed and refreshed and reinvigorated. And there was sort of a lot of good corollaries to what we're trying to do within the society. And all of those presentations and speeches and whatnot are available on the national website, which I'll get to in a minute. And then the second national meeting is the National Assembly, which is a bigger meeting. It'll be held at the end of August and beginning of September in Baltimore. Last year it was in Houston, and we had about 650 people. I think they're shooting for about 800 people in Baltimore. These are also great meetings to network with Vincentians from around the country to learn more about different topics. There's meetings on thrift stores, for example. If your conference is operating a thrift store, there's meetings on different programs. There's obviously a spiritual retreat. There's keynote addresses. It's a recommitment mass for all Vincentians. It's just a great time for fellowship and spiritual renewal and information exchange. So those meetings are, as I said, available to all Vincentians, and a appropriate use of society funds are to send Vincentians to those meetings for training and renewal, so that they can come back and share what they learned with the rest of their conference and with their district. So I would encourage you, if you have an interest in attending any of those meetings and are concerned about the affordability of it, talk with your conference president to see if there's conference funds available. If not, there could be funds available at the district. And if not, then I'm willing to commit that we'll have funds available at the council level, which Pat may cringe at because it's not in the budget, but we'll make it available because I think it is important. And ideally, it would be nice to have one person from every district in Georgia attend the National Assembly and come back and disseminate that information and share it with the rest of the folks in the district. So those are great opportunities for in-person meetings where you can get back to interacting with Vincentians, not just locally, but regionally and nationally. There's also virtual opportunities. The national website, if you haven't looked at it lately, has been revamped and redone, and there's a wealth of information out there. There's training materials, there's webinars, including regularly scheduled webinars for things like Voice of the Poor. There's special topic webinars. All the videos from the national meetings, whether the mid-year or the annual assembly, are available, so you can go and check out Tim Williams' spiritual retreat on the Faces of Christ, which was very well done. Or you can check out Father McDermott's keynote address on renewal of the society. All good stuff. And of course, our Georgia website has great training materials. And one thing I took away from the mid-year meeting was a quote that you see here on the screen from Father Dennis Holtschneider, which was given at a keynote at the National Assembly several years ago, but Ralph Middlecamp referred to it again at the mid-year meeting. Father Holtschneider is I think he's still currently the president of DePaul University, a Vincentian priest, who said the poor deserve better than to be served by well-meaning amateurs. And I can tell you, when I first started as a caseworker 20 years ago, I went on 2 cases as a secondary, and then somebody handed me a binder and said, okay, you're a primary caseworker now, have at it. And I was woefully unprepared, and we've come a long way in 20 years. We do a fantastic job at the Georgia Council with the work that Jerry and Amanda do of training programs. So we have a lot of great training. So there's training for Vincentian casework and Ozanam orientation, which is great, but the opportunity to interact with other members of the society and other councils around the region, around the country, and learn about things that they're doing and problems that they've tackled that we can learn from is a great opportunity. So I would encourage all of you to consider attending if you're able and so inclined. I think you'll find it rewarding. So if you can move on, Amanda, thank you. So I mentioned Ralph Middlecamp a moment ago. Hopefully everyone here knows Ralph. Ralph is our National Council President and has been in that position for 4.5 years. That position is a 6-year term, unlike all the other council and conference president roles, which are 3-year terms that are renewable. The National Council President is elected for 1 6-year non-renewable term. So his term ends at the end of the next fiscal year, and the process to elect his successor has begun. And I sent out a note to all the conference presidents in early April asking for any nominations. Anybody can be nominated as long as they're an active Vincentian and Catholic. And ask for those any nominations from conferences to come to the council by this past Monday. And we did get 1 nomination from Transfiguration Conference in Marietta of 1 individual, and who appears to be willing to put himself forward as a candidate. And we're waiting for him to submit his nomination materials, including his platform, and then we will circulate that, and any council in the country can nominate someone. So we don't know how many nominees there will be, but the process from here forward is that if there are more than 2 nominations that are submitted by the June 13th deadline, then there will be a primary. And given we're in the primary season for our midterm elections, is a good corollary. There will be a primary election at the National Assembly in August. Each of those candidates will have 10 minutes to address the National Council members, and they will whittle that candidate pool down to 2. And those final 2 candidates will be voted on by all Vincentians across the country. So every conference will have a vote. Those votes will be aggregated to the council level and submitted to national, and the next council president will be announced sometime in January and have a good 10-month transition period, 9 or 10 month transition period with Ralph. So a smooth transition. So again, look for that information coming forward, and sometime in the 4th quarter, we'll be asking each conference to consider the final 2 nominees, and you'll get their platforms and you'll get their bios and whatnot, and we'll ask each conference to notify their district president of which candidate they support. That's all I have. Thanks for your attention.
Mike, thank you for the overview. Thank you very much for the messaging. Really appreciate it, and I really appreciate your leadership. So So now we'll go on to talk about and highlighting one of our conferences. So we'd like to highlight on this session, Christ our King and Savior out in beautiful Greensboro, Georgia. We have Tom Daly and Susan Garrett, who's going to talk to us about an effort they go on to helping people with Martha's Closet. So Tom, I think you're the first up on the agenda, and it's all yours.
All right, Jerry, thank you. Hope you can hear me. We can go to the next slide.
Absolutely.
Okay, guys. So again, good afternoon. Coming to you from Greensboro. We're halfway between Atlanta and Augusta for all you Atlanta natives. We cover the parish, and the conference covers a 3-county area out here. It's primarily rural, although we're in the middle of lake country with Lake Oconee and Lake Sinclair. So we have some high-end neighborhoods, which creates quite a dichotomy in terms of income, et cetera, around our area. The church is started in '92 as 2 parish missions. Was put together in '92 to form a single church. It's basically a growing area. The church has doubled in size in the 12 years I've been a member here, so it's certainly still growth. Our conference, we have 28 caseworkers currently. The conference was established in 2001. Most of our workers are retired, but we have a very supportive pastor and parish. So what do we do? Next slide. Yeah, so our funding kind of area is around $250,000 annually, which is primarily through on monthly envelopes, second collection, so direct contributions from the parish, although we do get some occasional gifts from social events at the parish, like the golf tournament will give us proceeds and trivia night and things like that. Key activities besides casework, we support the 3 nonprofit food banks in each county through food drives and bread runs, et cetera. We have a small home repair team which specializes in building ramps for trailer homes and small homes for people to get in and out of in their wheelchairs. And we certainly partner with the Protestant churches out here, school social workers, Habitat, and other organizations on specific cases. Last year, in our last fiscal year, we had $220,000 direct assistance, which was approximately 600 families. Another roughly $85,000 in-kind donations, primarily through Martha's Closet, which we're about to talk about. And I think we're easily the largest nonprofit organization in the Tri-County area. So Martha's Closet, Sue Garrett and her husband Dave started this out of the trunk of their car a number of years ago when they saw a real need down there in Hancock County, which is an area with over 30% of the population lives under the poverty line. They've now graduated to an old EMT garage that the county has given us to use, and Sue operates there with a set of volunteers. So let's take a look at what's going on. You played a video.
And I started Martha's Closet about 5 years ago with the help of a lot of other volunteers. It's all on a volunteer basis. We're located in Hancock County in Georgia. It's one of the poorest communities in the county and in the country. We usually serve about 100 people when we're open, and what we usually do is we run on donations. Everything's given to them for free, and there's quite a lot of items that they cannot afford on food stamps. They're not allowed on food stamps, or they don't get food stamps. We try to supply them with basic sanitary needs, laundry detergent, toilet paper, baby wipes, diapers, socks, underwear, because we're really trying to offer them dignity and joy and bring them to God through our actions. This is our ministry. We serve God by doing this, and we just want to keep doing it. And it's because of people like you that donate money to us, we can keep on going. We appreciate your time and effort, and God bless you all.
Good afternoon. I'm today at Martha's Closet to get donations for people that I know in the community that don't have. I don't get a lot for myself, but I get stuff to help other children and stuff I know that in need. And it's a pleasure and it's a privilege for them to have this in Sparta for us, and we appreciate it. I get up 5 o'clock in the morning to be here just to make sure I could get something for somebody in need.
This month we've had some disability items brought to us, donated. We have wheelchair, we have some potty chairs and shower chairs. When people are being taken care of at home, a lot of times there's a lot of time between the time of their need and when they can get something from Medicaid, and we try to help them out that way. And suitcases are donated to us. People wonder if they take a lot of vacations. That's not what they use them for. They use them because it's a lot nicer to take their few earthly possessions in a suitcase, and they use it as a dresser than it is to use a garbage bag when they're on the street walking back and forth from couch to couch sometimes. So that's why suitcases are good.
This is Martha's Closet, and my name is Rosa, and I'd like to say anything that can be done to help them stay afloat and go along, do it. It is a blessing to so many people in this county. So please, do whatever it takes to keep them open.
All right, this is a nice place in Canton. I mean, for people to come and have things that they really need, you know, and a lot of people are hurting out here these days. So bless y'all and thank y'all for everything that y'all have done for us.
Okay.
Okay, I'm good.
Hi. I just enjoy that you all come each and every month, helping everyone provide their needs and things that they need each and every month that you come. And I truly thank God for sending you guys out for each day.
Right, we're giving away 100 smoke detectors with batteries. We got them from a local store, helping our local businesses. The reason these are important is when it gets to be cold winter months, a lot of these places that they rent don't have a smoke detector at all, They use their stoves to heat their houses. We've gone in through St. Vincent de Paul doing home visits. They've got a burner going, they've got the oven door open, and there'll be somebody in a wheelchair or walker. We've lost quite a few people that way through house fires, so this has not been done through any grant money through the fire department in 10 years now. So this is our second time at Martha's giving out smoke detectors. We tried to give out batteries 2 years ago and found out they didn't have smoke detectors to begin with. So we got these at cost, and we're so blessed to be able to hand them out today, and our hope and prayer is that we save some lives by doing this.
You gonna wrap up?
Yeah, I'll finish up. So, okay, hey, so Susan, Tom, thank you so much for highlighting Martha's Closet. Obviously, you do a phenomenal amount of work for those in need in your area. And again, we love to highlight, you know, what our conferences do, because they're the ones that come up with the innovative ways of helping those, because they understand their community. So thank you so much.
Hey, Jerry, let Susan say hi. She got her camera working there, so.
Oh, good. Susan, we got you live now, right?
Yeah, I'm much better at folding clothes than I am at doing videos or working a computer. So we all have to find what we're good at and just go with that. Thank you all for watching the video. I hope the audio was better on your end than it was on mine, but.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. And we really appreciate all that you do. Thank you, Susan. All right, so next we're going to move on to the Holy Family Counseling Center. And again, I think Mike Meese even brought up the comment about, you know, how we want to help our Vincentian caseworkers be better prepared. And so there are a number of conferences that have been working with the Family Counseling Center, because they're a group of individuals who are professional at counseling. And, you know, many times we meet with families in need, and we look for ways to point them to more professional caregivers. And so we wanted to highlight the Holy Family Counseling Center. And in fact, we have Peter Attridge, who is the chief clinical psychologist or psychiatrist. You'll correct me, Peter, but he's here to talk a little bit about the Holy Family Counseling Center and where you could potentially get involved with them in helping when you encounter some very dire situations within your casework. So Peter, are you there?
I'm here.
Awesome.
Thanks, Jerry. Hey, everyone. Thank you for having us on today. So as Jerry said, I am the clinical director with Holy Family Counseling Center. I'm 2 months away from being able to call myself a psychologist, because you have to have a doctorate to do that. And I'm currently writing my dissertation. So maybe next time I talk to you, I'll be the chief psychologist as well. But I'm very happy to be here. So Holy Family Counseling Center was founded in 2009 by Sandra McKay, and her vision was to really form a counseling center that operated from Catholic Christian perspectives and could serve the communities that we all lived in. So from that time, we've grown substantially. We now have 11 therapists, 2 interns, and hopefully adding another therapist here in a couple of weeks. And the wonderful thing I think about what we do is that we offer, you know, counseling from a Catholic Christian perspective, and all of us as therapists come from different walks of life. And because of that, we bring these individual ideas into the center as a whole. And that becomes a really good thing, because kind of as a therapist, you can get stuck in your own ruts. And because we have so many people from so many walks of life coming in, we get a lot of different perspectives from our therapists, and that kind of influences the way we operate. So even though we are all Catholics here at Holy Family, we don't only serve the Catholic population. We have people from all walks of life that, you know, come through our doors. What we have found probably in the last 2 years, especially since the pandemic hit, is that people were really interested in coming to the therapist that was closest to their house. So to that end, we have therapists in 17 locations around the Atlanta area. We have our main office here in Suwanee, and then all of our therapists operate from parishes around the diocese. So We're heavily focused on the north and northwest side of Atlanta. We do have some therapists on the southeast side as well, and we're trying to get over to the southwest side, Conyers, Loganville area in the coming months. So if we can go to the next slide. Awesome. Thank you. So as therapists and counselors, we kind of help everyone that can come through our door to the ability that we have, right? So I don't have any psychiatrists on staff, but through the years, we have developed a very robust referral list. So if someone is in need of medication or having some individual testing done, we can offer assistance in finding them someone who's going to work with them through the process to help them get the medication they need or get the certain assessments they need. We work with the variety of people from individuals through families. I particularly deal with a lot of couples and families myself. So it is not uncommon for me to have, you know, a family of 6 or 7 people in our group room on a Saturday, or multiple families on Saturdays, because I do work a long day on Saturdays. So we try to help as many people as we can from as many positions as we can. And to that end, our therapists operate on sliding scales. Each therapist is in charge of their own sliding scale. And we do the best that we can to kind of make sure everybody who comes in to get help gets the help they need. And our concern is not really about making sure we're making money, but more that they are coming in and getting the help they need that's sustainable and affordable for them as well. So we have worked with many of the conferences to help kind of supplement that pay. We work with the Archdiocese as well. And we're currently working on other areas so that we can bring more people in who are in need of help but necessarily can't afford therapy. In addition to our therapy, we also offer groups and we also offer programs to various churches and organizations. So for instance, you know, Jerry asked if I could present here today, which I'm happy to do. But also if there's any specific areas that a conference would need, like say anxiety or depression or financial counseling or financial therapy, we can design and provide, you know, programs where we come out and talk for an hour or two, one night during the week. And all of our therapists are usually very excited to kind of get out into the community and talk with people about what we love to do. So we do help with a lot of different areas. As you can imagine, coming through the pandemic, anxiety and depression has been a really big one. But we also deal with addiction. We deal with anger management. We deal with, you know, couples and arguing. We deal with parents and teenagers and their difficulties. So all these conflicts that kind of come up, we help out with. I think that is probably all I have for now, but I will be around for questions at the end.
Thank you so much. And look, I think a couple things I want to highlight is, Peter and the rest of the leadership team from Holy Family came in to talk to Pat and the staff here at the Conference Support Center. And, you know, a couple points that we found out was, you know, sometimes you are actually housed within the parish. So you're very accessible. And we think of this as not only helping those people that we help, but you could also potentially help us because I know for us, a lot of times it's very daunting meeting with families and it's challenging, right? Listening to what they're going through. We, in an empathetic way, take on some of that stress and take on some of that. And so, you know, maybe there's ways that we can partner with the counseling center to not only help those that we serve, but help ourselves. So Peter, thank you so much. And we really appreciate and look forward to a stronger partnership as we move forward. And I know that you're within the metropolitan Atlanta area, but I know you have dreams of going even wider. So
we do, yeah.
So for those conferences that are out there, they're thinking, this is not applicable to me. Talk to your parish and say, hey, I heard about this group. Maybe we should get them out there. So just want to throw a little plug in there for you.
Yeah, and to that point, I will add in that all of our counselors will also do virtual therapy. So if one of our locations is just a little bit too far out of the range for someone to come in person, we do offer virtual counseling as well.
Peter, thank you so much. Thank you for your time and thank you for sticking around afterwards.
Of course,
so
thank you.
Next, we're going to talk about another conference out there. It's up in the the Northwest, Good Samaritan up in Ellijay, beautiful Ellijay. We have Bob Sarusco, who's going to talk to us about a recent effort that they've put on to host and established an ongoing mobile clinic up in the area. So Bob, you there?
I'm here.
Awesome.
you.
Bob, take it away.
Can we go to the next slide, please? Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having us here today. Good Samaritan is happy to participate within St. Vincent de Paul. I'm a member there as well as with the Knights of Columbus. I'm a 4th degree Knight. We have 514 parishioner families at Good Samaritan. It's fairly young. It started as a mission church, and then the full time church was actually opened in 2007. I think similar to a lot of our communities in North Georgia, we have a fairly older demographic. Excuse me. All right. Sorry about that. We have 31 Vincentians, 18 of which are active. 11 of the 18 are actual caseworkers. I do most of the screening of the requests that come in on our voicemail because I work from home. And it's been a very educational experience for me. Our pastor is Father Carlos Vargas, and he is very supportive, as well as I said, the Knights of Columbus work very closely with us. Last year, we assisted 168 families with $41,000 in aid, and we're going to be doing much more than that this year. Go to the next slide, please. Okay. This actually, the free clinic is an outgrowth of something that headquarters started with the prescription program. When we were thrilled once we found out that we could order prescriptions from Chambly, and what we came across was that our clients are not educated patients or not compliant patients in many cases. So rather than coming to us and saying, we need help, we have 3 days worth of high blood pressure medication or diabetes medication left, what we saw was, I haven't been to the doctor in 4 years. It's been 2 months since I had my high blood pressure medication, things like that. So we needed to intervene before we could take advantage of the pharmacy program. So with the approval of the past president, we started searching for potential partners. And I found Bethesda Community Clinics. Bethesda is a 501c3 nonprofit. It's 9 years old. It was started by a very dynamic individual who was a nurse, and then she became a nurse practitioner, and then a professor at Kennesaw State University. They see over 5,000 patients a year, and that, to quantify that for you as far as dollars in services delivered, it was over $9 million last year. When they come up, what was attractive to us about them was not only do they have this bricks and mortar facility down in Canton, but they also have a mobile clinic. And when they bring the mobile clinic up to us, it's a free clinic. You'll see that throughout Georgia, most of the time you hear people talking about community clinics because it's sliding scale. We charge nothing. We offer primary care exams. We have a physician on site. If we need to, we also have an enhanced Wi-Fi capability through the mobile van that we can do telemedicine. So we have the potential of seeing 2 patients at the same time. We do lab work in the facility where we can do urine analysis, blood tests. We send blood off to a outside agency, Quest Labs, which does most of the medical offices and hospital work. So they're a very legitimate organization. And we can also dispense medications in either 30 or 90-day supplies. Their formulary, they bring that with them. So that's one of the ways that we found we can fill that gap between getting something in their hands now and then getting a prescription downtown so that we can do the by mail prescriptions filled. What makes this work up here is that it's an ecumenical effort. One of our problems in the Northwest is that all the congregations are small. So everybody works together, or we try to work together. So this is an outreach of not only Good Samaritan Catholic Church, but it's also Hope Lutheran, First Methodist, and Cherry Log Christian. In addition to that, we also have as a stakeholder the Gilmer Community Food Pantry. And we've just added Georgia Overdose Prevention organization, where they come out and they will counsel people on Narcan and the opioid problem that we have now. I'm sorry. Okay. And they'll also they will give Narcan to family members who may have someone who's addicted within their family. Again, all of it's free. We're looking for continued growth, specifically targeting the Latino community. And because that's with the chicken plants up here and farms, that's a very significant part of our population. The way we're going to bring the Latino families on board with us is through their kids and through religious education. Significant amount of our altar servers and youth members of the church are Hispanic. You want to get comfort with the parents, you go through the kids. So that's how outreach is going to be going with them. Next steps, in addition to additional clinic days, where we'll go, right now it's the 3rd Wednesday of every month from 10 to 2. Then we'll go to the 1st and 3rd, and we'll just keep adding a day as we go along till we can begin to create an effective safety net. And in addition to the primary care, one of our biggest challenges is going to be adding a free dental clinic. Whereas we're medically underserved over here, dental needs are devastating. We have one dental sliding scale clinic in the next county over. They're already booked through August. So that's a major goal for us as well. Be happy to take any questions, happy to discuss one-on-one with any of your groups that might want to try something like this in your area.
Bob, thank you so much. And, I guess what I see in this is the beauty is you saw an area, you saw a need in a particular area, and you realize you can't do it alone. So you look for who's best to partner with and who do we need to bring into this circle to ensure that you're doing it right. So hats off to Good Samaritan. And we really appreciate what you guys are doing out there up in the Western Mountains of Georgia. So thank you, Bob, and stick around because I'm sure there'll be some questions. So I think next up, I think we're just going to finish up before we open it up to questions and just kind of, again, review the events, and Amanda's going to do that for us, right?
Yeah, good afternoon. As Pat mentioned earlier at the beginning, we've got the two events, our main fundraiser events for the year. The Morning of Hope is a new event for us, a new model of an event. If you remember, we've had Evening for Hope galas in the past. This one is a breakfast, as he mentioned, on August 25th. And the model for this one, there are sponsorship opportunities for it, but the new part of this type of event for us is it's running off of a table captain model. Something that our other councils have done over in Phoenix, and we're really excited about this. So the table captain model, you can sign up as a table captain. You can sign up to host a full table or of 10 or a half a table, and the seats are free. It's free to attend. So you invite 5 or 10 people to the event to learn more about St. Vincent de Paul and the work we do, to enjoy the keynote speakers that we have who will talk about the power of hope. And so instead of you sponsoring putting up the entire sponsorship, they attend and they would essentially make a donation as your guest to your table. The expectation is that you invite people who understand that they will be asked for a donation at the event, but also, help us spread awareness of the work we do, and just bring them to this new type of event for Atlanta, the Atlanta community and the Georgia community. So please check out the website. Everything is on our website right now, svdpgeorgia.org. You can sign up for sponsorships, individual seats at the breakfast, or sign up as a table captain. We certainly invite you to look at that. And then our annual TL for Hope is our annual golf tournament. So please sign up for a foursome or join a foursome if you would like. And that is being held at the Standard Club in Johns Creek. The other event we have coming up, or not us, but the Eucharistic Congress is approaching, and we are lucky to partner with the Justice and Peace Ministries to be a beneficiary of their food collection drive. So that is on Friday, June 17th, down at the Georgia International Convention Center in College Park. We are looking for volunteers to help with that food collection drive. I believe we're going to have our trucks out there, and hopefully, a lot of you are already planning to attend the Eucharistic Congress. So please, if you are planning to attend, we would love for your volunteer help as well to kind of up our food drive on that day. So you can visit that URL there to register and sign up, and let me know if you would like to volunteer, please. That is it.
Thank you, Amanda. And see how appropriate, Star Wars, right? On the 4th of May, right? So anyway, so again, please take a look at these events. And as we've indicated, we are looking for sponsorship. So if you know of people that would like to sponsor, please send them our way. We really appreciate it. And I think at this point that ends the content presentation part of it. So I think we might have some, I don't know if we have any questions in the chat room, but we'll also open it up to just general Q&A. So.
See everybody's faces here. We don't have any questions in the chat, so if you have a question, feel free to raise your hand or come off of mute and you're done.
Hey, Jerry, man, I don't have a question. I just have a comment. I'm always amazed and delighted by the creativity of Vincentians, across Georgia, across the country, and what's happening in Martha's Closet and at Good Samaritan is great stuff, and it's just wonderful to see that. What we like to say in the society is no form of charity is foreign to the society, and you guys are proof of that. So well done. Thank you.
No, you're right. We're so blessed because we can highlight so many different types of special works. So coming from our 70, 72, 73 conferences, right? So anybody have any questions for any of the presenters? Don't be shy. Okay.
Would Holy Family counseling work in DeKalb County?
Yes, so currently we have some therapists. I think our closest location is going to be at the cathedral. But we are going to be talking to some parishes in DeKalb County in the next month to see if we can get a couple of our therapists in there.
Okay, great. I think IHM Conference might be interested in helping you out.
Okay, yeah, oh yeah, love to talk to Monsignor. So I will make sure I make a point to put that on my to-do list.
Great, thank you.
And Peter, I think the way you work it is sometimes you talk with a parish and they'll give you access to a room or, you know, counseling space. Obviously that's secure, maybe 1 day a week or, you know, or something on that order. So.
Correct. Yeah, we usually work with the parishes to figure out if there's space that we can use and then what day works best for their calendar. And then our therapist will come in and kind of work around what the parish can offer us.
Great. Great. Somebody have a question? Okay. I think if we don't, then I guess we'll let you guys get on to the rest of your day, and thank you all for what you do out there in the conferences and all that you serve. I know that we continue to get a lot of requests. I don't think we've had a fall off regarding requests from our neighbors in need. So again, thank you. And I hope that you are starting to embrace getting back out there with home visits. I know that many conferences have been calling me about that and have indicated that they're going back out. They're feeling more comfortable. So.
All right,
I think that's it. You
Thanks,
guys
John.
have a great day. God bless.
thank you.
You there?